Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our regular commission meeting for December 17th, 2025. It's a little bit late this morning. We still have some folks signing up, but since we'll go ahead and get started now. Before our regular business is started, we're going to have some opening ceremonies because we have a re-elected commissioner and we have a brand new commissioner that we would like to swear in this morning. So I'm glad they have a great audience here to see that. Some of you may be here for some other reasons, which is fine too, but it's nice that we have a great audience to see our new commissioner sworn in. So with that, I would like to ask our commissioner and our new commissioner to come down in front of our dais here. And Judge Lee, our magistrate, is going to be here to swear them in. And Jeff, if you'd like your family down here, you can have that too, if you'd like.
Commissioner Mitchell and Commissioner Glidens, they're all here to see you guys get inducted. How nice, huh?
Judge, you want to do them simultaneous?
We're going to do simultaneous.
All right, sir.
Gosh, you've got a little bit.
Okay, does this look good for everybody? Okay, here's what we're going to do. When I start this, because I'm going to swear you both in at the same time, so when I say, I state your name, then you're going to say your names. Okay? All right. Might even get you inducted into the army or something like that. So let's see. We will start. These are going to be identical. So please, both of you raise your right hand. I state your name. Having been duly elected as city commissioner in the city of Truth or Consequences.
City of Truth or Consequences.
Good job. County of Sierra. State of New Mexico. Do solemnly swear. That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution and laws of the state of New Mexico.
The Constitution and laws of the state of New Mexico.
And faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of said office. So you can do it again. Okay, ready, Destiny?
Ready.
All right. Faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of said office.
And faithfully and
Discharge the duties of said office.
charge the duties of said office
To the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. So Destiny, there you go. Chaz, there you go, senor. Okay. Thank you also very much. Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you, commissioners. Congratulations. It's always nice when we have new commissioners coming on board. We'll be proud to serve with them, proud to serve with you always. And Chaz, well, we've got a lot of work ahead of us, but welcome to the commission and look forward to working with you down the road. All right, with that, we'll move on to our regular business. Ms. Torres, would you call us to order, please?
Honorable Ralph Hexler,
Present.
Honorable Amanda Forster,
Here.
Honorable Destiny Mitchell,
Present.
Honorable Ingo Hopner,
Yep.
and Honorable Mary Jo Paul is absent. Mr. Mayor, we have a quorum.
Thank you. Okay. Destiny, would you lead us in silent meditation?
Yes, and I would also like the community to keep in their thoughts and prayers, Dave Belzy, who passed away in the Cortez explosion last week. So thank you. Join me in 15 seconds of meditation.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Ms. Torres, would you do this in the pledge of allegiance, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
Thank you all. We're gonna, gosh, they're after their. But, so this, we got to the agenda, please. Yeah, just, no, probably not later. Just do the town center.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, I would like to make a change on our agenda for our December 17th meeting to move I3 discussion action contract lease agreement extension between the city of Truca Consequences and Talon Septic, moving that onto our executive session. And with that changes, I'll make a motion to approve.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
Motion on the second, Ms. Torres.
Honorable Ralph Hessler,
Aye.
Honorable Amanda Forrester,
Aye.
Honorable Destiny Mitchell,
Aye.
Honorable Ingo Hopner.
And I just, I'd mentioned for minutes that there is a legal basis that allows you to do what we just did. As long as you have something listed on the agenda, you can go into you can move it to closed session as long as within one of the exceptions on the Open Meetings Act, such as this case, the disposition of real property. So that's why we did.
Thank you for the clarification.
Thank you. All right, we'll move on to item one, public hearings. We're going to open up a public meeting after we have our commission discussion. A public hearing is publication and final adoption of possible publication of ordinance number 771, amending chapter 3 of the municipal code of ordinances pertaining to animals. City Manager Whitehead.
Thank you. Good morning, Mayor Pro Tem, members of the commission. Again, congratulations to our new elected officials. Mayor, as you know, from August, we've started the process to make some amendments and changes to the animal ordinance. We've conducted 2 public meetings. We've conducted 2 public hearings. At the last public hearing, we had the draft document ready. That's what we published, which is what I have here in my hand, the document that was presented. During the last public hearing, we received some additional feedback from commissioners, primarily pertaining to livestock and how the ordinance was to interact with the livestock and the livestock community. So what we've done, Tyler, we've charged him with drafting it. He has prepared some changes to the ordinance that would soften, if you will, the way that we would interact with the potential running at large livestock. We also softened the ability for those citizens that want to rehome animals. So we changed it from selling animals to potential ability to rehome. So what you have in front of you today is you could have a public hearing on the document the way it was presented at the last meeting and take action on that today. Our recommendation would be that we republish the ordinance for another 30 days. 15 days is the requirement, and that we take some time to then review the changes. Unfortunately, Tyler is in training this week and couldn't be here really to address and have the conversation. So we would go take a look at these changes made on those 2 provisions, and then add those to the ordinance if that's what the commission chose to do. So your public hearing today could be heard on the ordinance we have, take action, or republish it for another 30 days and allow us to review these changes. I would also add that Tyler has reached out to the New Mexico Livestock Bureau for clarification on some of those rules, right? Because we're citing state law and how it interacts with livestock, because it is different. And we're waiting for some clarification. So we would have some additional information. And so our recommendation is that we take a look at these changes and we republish.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mayor.
So with that, do we have any discussion? You guys had a chance to review?
I would like to wait and get our updated information and republish with the new changes that were recommended at
The workshop.
workshops.
Yeah, there were several changes there. And because we are having a public meeting, I am going to open this session up for public comment. And what I'm asking for is if anyone wants to comment, communicate about our animal ordinance, if it's a change they'd like to see or things of that nature, then they're welcome to do so that we can add it to our record. So at this time, if anyone in the audience would like to speak on behalf of either pro or con of the animal ordinance, they're welcome to come up and speak at the microphone. Please identify yourself and where you live. And there is a 5-minute rule that applies to your discussion. So is there anyone in the audience that would like to come up and speak on behalf of the animal ordinance? Yes, ma'am.
Hey, Alice Hutchins, Truth or Consequences. I was able to sit in on one of the meetings earlier, and I just want to say this is so well done. I mean, the amount of time and energy that has gone into really formatting this so it meets the needs of our community is quite remarkable. And so I just want to commend the commission and Tyler in particular. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hutchins. Anyone else in the audience? Yes, sir.
My name is Patrick Oliver. I'm a resident of Truth or Consequences. I've been a resident of Truth or Consequences since 2020. On December 12th, 2025, the Sierra County Sentinel published an article in which they summarized the animal control meeting that y'all had. And in that article, it is quoted, Mayor Pro Tem Amanda Foster raised concerns about individuals being ticketed for livestock escaping, using the county fair as an example. Nall assured her that all animal control offenses were classified as civil violations. In New Mexico, a civil violation, excuse me, New Mexico civil violation, a code violation, involves breaking local or state rules on property, building, zoning, health, and environmental issues. That includes animal control. Remedies for that are usually a fine, a ticket. Habitual offenders are generally charged with a misdemeanor. That's the way it's supposed to work. I turn your attention to the City of Truth or Consequences versus Kristen E. Littman, case number M-51-MR-2024-00528. On January 13th, we were in the car on the way to open heart surgery in Albuquerque when we had to go through an arraignment where her rights were read to her over a dog that was in our parking lot. First offense. The offense written on the charge here, City of Truth or Consequences Code Violation 392, first offense, chapters 3-16, all sections. You want to review the citation, sir? That number is 03052. If I seem a little shaky right now, it's because I'm quite upset about this. There are two rules here. There's the rules for you, Mrs. Forrester, and your friends, and then there's the rules for us. And they're different, and they're enforced differently. What I'd like to see a change on is that you all actually follow the way that it's supposed to be done. First two offenses, you get a fine. Not a criminal record. Had the judge not intervened, my wife, who has never had a ticket in 40 years, would have a criminal record, a misdemeanor. It still comes up on a background check. What I'd like to see with this animal ordinance, sir, is I'd like to see one set of rules, not two. I like to see one community, not two. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak? Being none, I will close this meeting. All right, before we move,
And I would say the legal advantage of having the public hearing like we just did is, again, after the publication, if we decide not to adopt the changes that we're gonna be publishing, when we come back to what we have, we've already had the public hearing, so I think we've got that. You've gotten through that hurdle.
okay,
Yes.
All right.
So that was good to do that.
Do we have to make
let's go. I would like to see a motion to go to publication and to be public comment for the next 30 days. At which time we'll incorporate any changes and we'll go to final publication.
so move?
Thank you.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Ms. Torres?
Eagle Mountain.
I didn't know if that was.
I was looking at the mayor, Honorable Ingo Houghton. Honorable Rafa.
Motion carries. Before we move to public comment, I have a little statement prepared here that I'd like to read. I know the reason that most of you are here, and thank you for being here because we know that you care about our community, or else you wouldn't be here, right? And we're all passionate about certain things. Some of us are on one side and some of us are on the other. I understand that. And so let me read this and hopefully it'll provide some clarification, and then we'll move on with the public comment. So a friend texted me last evening and had concerns regarding the resolution cooperating with federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies. As he stated, at best, people don't see the need since we already cooperate with these agencies, but others are suspicious of the timing and real intent. I think this needs to be explained. I agree, we owe an explanation. Before we start though, I want to say that I have worked side by side with Commissioner Fall for the past 4 years and have found her to be professional, dedicated, and always working to better our community. There's no hidden agenda here. I don't believe it has anything to do with ICE or immigration. Personally, I have been in law enforcement myself for over 40 years, have family in law enforcement, and want to fully support them as they go out and work in this dangerous profession. So we'll have some options. One is, we could pull the item from the agenda knowing we support our law enforcement in our community and trusting our chief and officers to act in the best interest of our community as they always have. We have had no issues today. Does it appear we don't support this resolution? Does it appear if we don't support this resolution that we're not supporting law enforcement? Negativity in the news today, which divides our citizens and their perspectives. We trust the chief and our officers. They have given us no reason to think otherwise. And then I was going to have Commissioner Fall explain why she wants this item on the agenda. And I had a discussion with her this morning. Last night, her husband had gallbladder surgery. He is in recovery. She called me this morning and she's traveling back there. She says, I don't want to be perceived that I'm afraid to meet the public for what I stand for and what I want to do. And I said, I don't think we'll do that because we know what your history is and what you've done for our community. But she goes, I don't want to be divisive in our community, and I want us to come together. I don't believe. I know that she has a family in law enforcement and that she's concerned about that and she wants to support her family in law enforcement. But I don't believe she has any nefarious or hidden agenda here. In what I know of Mary Jo and how long I've known her, and I think the rest of our commission would agree to that. So I wanted to say that to everybody so that you understand and that we're going to be open to your comments. And then when we get down to the actual action item, we'll make a decision and our commission will have to make that decision. Sometimes things are best left alone. And we don't want to be divisive in our community if we can help that, because I don't want to pair people against people. We all have to live, as I said one time, under one big, beautiful sky, right? And we have to get along. And we want to do that as best as we can. So with that, I hope that when you come up, you can provide your comments. Let's be professional in the way we interact. We're not, and we'd love to hear what you have to say. Okay, Guys ready to go? And with that, I'll call you. Please, excuse me if I butcher your name, or if I just call you by your first name, come on up. Start by announcing your name and where you live. And then there will be a 3-minute rule that applies. Yeah. No. Before we get started, Chief, did you have any comments or anything that you want to say, or do you want to reserve them for the end? All right, thank you, sir. With that, Alice Hutchins, you were first on the list.
Oh, you already spoke, so you can't say, no, I'm just kidding.
Hey, my name is Alice Hutchins, and I'm a resident of Truth or Consequences. One of the challenges in a small, tight-knit community is to disagree without being disagreeable, as Mary Jo and I agreed yesterday in a text exchange. I hope to thread that needle today. Resolution number 3125 through 2526 sounds great. Lots of positive buzzwords like justice, safety, security, professionalism. I feel very safe in this community. My sense of justice has never been violated. Every encounter with law enforcement has been friendly and professional. Is there some sort of problem I am not aware of that requires a resolution of this type? Is there a breach of trust and cooperation with the state and federal government that local law enforcement is struggling to overcome? Or has national politics raised its ugly head in the divisive debate about ICE, its validity, constitutionality, and morality under the current administration is being unnecessarily plunked down right here on TRC's doorstep? This resolution is vague. It does not define federal law enforcement. If ICE is the focus, let's have an honest discussion about that as a community. I think we can agree that public safety depends on trust. With ICE's documented civil rights concerns, any implied endorsement is concerning. For example, I quote from the resolution itself, "The importance of continued and robust cooperation with our federal, state, and local law enforcement partners, and to recognize and support collaborative efforts." What exactly is robust cooperation? And what is collaborative efforts? We could assume the best from this language, or we could assume the worst. Room for assumption has no place in a legal document, which is what a resolution is. Assuming the worst, when people fear the detention and or deportation of friends and family, trust disappears. When local law enforcement is seen as complicit in the actions of a federal agency under the cloud of so much documented abuse, trust disappears. When trust disappears, we are all at risk. A safe community becomes less safe. And I believe there's no need for this resolution. There's no identified crisis. And if there is, please let us as a community know, and we can work together with local law enforcement for a community-supported solution. I respectfully ask this commission to delay or suspend a vote on this resolution until the long-term effects of it on our community can be assessed. And to Mary Jo, thank you so much, Mary Jo, for your service to this community. You're going to be greatly missed. And Ariel Doherty was not able to be here today, but I have her written comments that I'm going to leave here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Jen Clement?
I'm Jen Clemente.
Clemente, okay, thank you.
I'm a resident here in TRC, and I came here because it's safe, especially for a woman. And because I've never felt so included, and I see the potential of tourism in this town, welcoming people of all stripes. So I want to begin by expressing my deep respect for our local law enforcement officers. They know this community, they live here, they work within the law to keep us safe. This comment is not about them. My concern is with the wording of this resolution. It broadly pledges cooperation with federal law enforcement agencies without defining which agencies are included or what cooperation means. That ambiguity really matters. In practice, this language can be interpreted as support for ICE operations in our city. As we know, they've been present around New Mexico, lands and in Hatch. If that is not the intent, then the resolution should clearly say so, like really clearly say so. If that is the intent, then the public deserves an honest conversation about the consequences, no pun intended. ICE has a documented history of civil rights violations, racial profiling, and detentions without due process. Associating that with our city, with that agency, risks undermining trust, reducing crime reporting, and making our community less safe, especially for mixed status families and vulnerable residents and those who are seeking permanent residency, naturalization. New Mexico has been deliberate about limiting local involvement in federal immigration enforcement. This resolution risks contradicting that intent without any clear public safety benefit. I respectfully ask the commission to delay this vote or amend the resolution to explicitly exclude immigration enforcement agencies. Our community deserves that. And policies that strengthen public trust.
Thank you, ma'am. Adams?
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Alicia Adams. I'm a citizen of Truth or Consequences. I stand before you as a concerned citizen. I have great respect for our local law enforcement. I have never had a bad experience with them. They are involved in our community beyond enforcing laws, and I admire and respect that. My concern today involves resolution number 31/2526 regarding the cooperation of local, state, federal law enforcement agencies. While I do understand the importance of these agencies cooperating to protect our community, I'm concerned that if this resolution passes as it is, we are opening the door to ICE to come into our community, and we don't want that to happen. In communities that have chosen to cooperate and work with ICE operations, it has had a devastating impact on families, schools, safety, and the economy. In communities that have had ICE presence, they have seen a 22 to 36% decline in school attendance and enrollment, with a disproportionate impact on the youngest students K through 5 due to parents fearing family separation. 51.7% of students in Truth or Consequences school district are Hispanic or Latino. Do we really want to see such a drop in our schools? All of our students would be negatively impacted by this. These communities have seen an erosion of public safety and trust. ICE's excessive enforcement tactics, violence, and lack of concern for citizens or due process has created an environment of fear. Fear that causes residents, including U.S. citizens, to not call our police or first responders for help, to report crimes, or seek medical care, thereby undermining overall community safety. We have one of the safest communities I have ever lived in, and I do not want that to change. I love living here. There's an economic cost to inviting ICE into our community as well. As ICE targets people based on racial profiling, perceived ethnicity, or language spoken, their actions create broader community anxiety that is already proven in other communities to indirectly harm the tourism economy by disrupting labor, deterring customers, making communities less accessible or appealing to visitors. When people are afraid to leave their homes or send their children to school or go to work or shop in our businesses, we all will feel the effect of this. In conclusion, Commissioners, I respectfully ask you to delay this vote or amend this resolution to explicitly exclude immigration enforcement agencies. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. A little difficulty with his next name. Is there Joseph in the house? Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. So the lady raised her hand and I called you ma'am, so I apologize.
I want to,
Please identify yourself and tell us where
my
you.
name is Joseph LaValle.
I got you now.
I reside here in Truth or Consequences.
Great.
I wish to address Miss Mary Jo. I'm sorry for her absence. I hope her husband is feeling better, and I want to thank her for her service. But this is unfortunate that she's not here to further explain this resolution. It seems as a veiled invitation to ICE. The previous speakers all mentioned ICE, and that's what everybody's concerned about. We wish not to have ICE in our community. As stated before, it's nothing but a divisive force. We want our police to make sure that police enforcement is done by the book, by the spirit of the law, by the letter of the law. And if not, we want our police here to arrest ICE. We don't want to see unlawful police action. Give you a little bit about my background. I'm been in the police family my whole life. My son was a policeman, killed in the line of duty. My brother-in-law is a policeman. My nephew is a policeman. My father was a chief. So I've lived and grown up in a police environment. They don't want ICE here doing things that we all seen on television, heard about on newspapers, heard on the internet. This is an unnecessary resolution because the police here will gladly cooperate with legal actions. So there's no need to pass a resolution enforcing it. We want police and law enforcement that follows the rules for police. And it appears that ICE is not following them. They're show up with masks on their faces, many covering any kind of a badge, just grabbing people off the streets, tackling them. Anybody that looks Hispanic, they tackle, they detain. And when they find them and that they're not illegal, that they have every legal right to be here, they're very slow to release them. And I had encouraged the committee not to delay a vote, but to vote against this resolution. Thank you for your time.
Yes, ma'am, you're up.
Alina, I know you were trying to figure out how to say that.
Yeah.
My name is Alina LaValle. I moved here with my husband, Joe, from Florida. We live in Truth or Consequences, just barely, another block away, and we wouldn't be. We moved here because in Florida, my rights were taken away. I'm a transgender woman. I've completely transitioned, medically, physically, emotionally. My health care was taken away from me. I was told I had to use a men's bathroom. Before that law took effect, we camped here at Caballo and got a home and moved here because I was protected. I'm afraid ICE is going to come after me because I'm the enemy within, don't you know? Okay, so this law, what we want for our police is to be arresting ICE agents that are breaking the law. The police are to protect and to serve. We want them to serve the people of Truth or Consequences, not ICE, not the federal government, but us. We pay the taxes. We want the protection from them, okay? I have no problem if they have an actual warrant to come and collect people and imprison them. But I'm afraid they're gonna come for me and put me in a concentration camp. Okay? My husband's son gave his life for the police. So we respect the police. But we want the police working for the people of Truth or Consequences, not ICE. We don't want a nasty name. Right now, the ICE agents are being called Gestapo. You don't want that nickname associated with your police department because they're helping them. Because that nickname will never go away, okay? ICE is unlawful and they need to be held accountable for the crimes that they are committing. I would hope that this council votes no. Thank you.
Thank you.
Honorable Mayor, Commissioners, City Manager, staff. It's really been a good year for this city. Things are turning well. With Main Street, with lots of things. You've heard the true facts, what ICE does. It's not about acts of loving kindness. It's not about brotherhood. It's about fear and deception. I just spent 5 months in Portland, Oregon. I know what it's about with people hiding. Right now, what we have is alternatives. The first thing is our city needs our tourism. We don't need this. This is not something that's positive whatsoever. The second thing, we need that focus from our mayor and from our commissioners to look at the focus that you're supposed to be working on. This, we supported our police. They have a brand new facility. The police are doing a wonderful job. The record will show that. We are at a point where this is very harmful from an image standpoint, but more importantly, from your own karma. I mean, you know, to think that a town this size has to have a resolution on the books is a little bit evil, in my estimation. So, you know, yes, I'm vehemently opposed to this, but an alternative is what the governor did with the National Guard. And they went to Espinoza and they picked up garbage and they did things. They didn't do what most people think, which takes their time, our budgeted police department, off the street to do things that is ridiculous. And I hope that everybody sitting right there feels that, yes, a no vote says one thing, like you said, as you read, Rolf, but the reality is we should stand up to this and we should say, not in our town. Thank you very much. Happy holidays and happy New Year.
Virginia.
We don't need this. We cooperate with police now. The police cooperate with federal agencies. Everyone's doing their job. It seems to be. Everything seems to be great. Why put this on the books? There's no need for it. It's simply making more division in our community. Our nation's so divided right now. This is insane. I'm a child of the 60s. I went through the whole Vietnam this year. We've never seen anything like what's going on right now. Please table this thing or vote no on it. Don't pass it. We don't need it. We don't need more division. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Thank you.
Thank you. Colleen?
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, City Level. Thank you. Better.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, City Manager, Chief, staff. I'm here today to speak against Resolution 31-25-26. Ma'am, can you? Of truth or consequences. I'm familiar with this. My father was a fighter pilot. My brother, a disabled vet from Vietnam. So I really honor our police force. Everyone works to protect and hold our community. For me, this resolution is a matter of integrity. Our laws, our Constitution, our amendments are specific. That our town would look to put a resolution into law that is vague and potentially dangerous is a matter of integrity for each one of you. And if something happens in this town, like you've seen happen with ICE, that's on each of you. I respectfully ask you to vote no on this resolution. Thank you.
Padilla, last name Padilla. The Den,
Damien,
Damien,
he's not here. He was sitting right there. and he left.
okay. Roy Moore.
I will use.
Thank you, sir. Stacy Hay.
My name is Stacy Hay and I live in Truth or Consequences. I just have a different perspective on this resolution. I don't agree with it. I actually worked at a state prison in California for 26 years full time. Part of that time I was a peace officer. For 10 years I was on the classification system. And I witnessed we already have policies in process. We already have systems set up, a justice system set up to, if somebody commits a crime and it's a felony, they get charged, they get prosecuted, they get sent to prison. Well, when this person has finished their time in their sentence, if they are an immigrant, they get interviewed by ICE. ICE decides whether they're here legally or illegally. And if they're here illegally, then they get sent to an ICE detention center and they get deported. This is already in process. This is part of our justice system. There is no reason why ICE should be here in our communities doing their illegal, unconstitutional, not following due process. So please, I beg of you, please vote no on this resolution. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Pat Swan.
I'm Pat Swan. I live in TRC. I too have had great relations with our police department, and I feel like we already abide by the laws and Constitution. There are some situations where we should be leaders and not followers. I feel ICE has wrongly detained people, wrongly shipped people to countries they have no relation to, and have separated families. They have abused human rights, and when it comes to medical care and safety in the detention facilities, this is not something I want to be part of or feel our city should be part of. This is not the American way. Your resolution might be for another reason, but we don't need to support the current mission of what's happening in Washington, D.C. So I too ask you to vote no. Thank you.
Laura Keck, is that correct? Thank you, ma'am.
Good morning, I'm Laura Keck, I live in TRC. Commissioners, staff. I have the utmost respect for local police and first responders. However, this pledge, or this resolution pledges to support law enforcement agencies. However, it does not define federal law enforcement. So if ICE is not intended to be federal, the resolution should explicitly say so. I respectfully ask the commission to either delay this vote or amend the resolution to explicitly exclude immigration enforcement agencies. Thank you.
David, I can't read the last name, but David? Yes, sir.
My name is David Eastside, and I'm a TRC resident. I agree with everything that's been said about this. Already working with feds, state, local. We don't need this on. We don't need a resolution or a law saying that we have to do that. We're already doing it. This is just like no brainer. We don't need to do this at all. And I respectfully ask you to vote no. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Rhodes.
My name's Christina Rhodes, and I live here in TRC. I've been a resident of Sierra County for almost 9 years with my family. My husband and I grew up in a small town in Northern California, a little smaller than this. And it sounds like I'm in good company here because I do come from a law enforcement family. My dad served on the sheriff's department for over a decade in our little town. And after 21 years in the Army, I've got aunts and uncles and cousins that also are in law enforcement. So I don't take the service lightly of the people that serve and protect and keep our community safe. That being said, I won't take up too much time because everybody's very busy, and my fellow community members have made some excellent points and spoke very eloquently today. So I just want to echo that I feel like this resolution is extremely vague. I think it's an open door to an agency that has had a history of abuse of power. I believe that if our community is in fear of contacting local law enforcement because of some perceived collaboration with an agency that doesn't even identify themselves in the community, I think we will be less safe. I would be more hesitant to call for help if I was in fear of my neighbors being kidnapped. So I just think it's really important that we are clear with our language when we propose resolutions like this. Yeah, I think that's the most important thing. I just want to protect our community. I'm raising my daughter here, and I want to make sure her and her friends and their families feel safe. We know somebody personally that lives in our town, a family that has been affected by this, and I don't want to see it happen to anybody else. So thank you very much. I respectfully ask that you vote no on this resolution.
David Brown.
You don't have to speak.
No, I wanted to say something real quick, just, in the swearing in ceremony, it did say something about upholding the Constitution. And then something in your texting with your friend last night, he said that we already do this. We already cooperate with state and federal forces. And so it seems a little redundant, and in light of some of the constitutional issues that are being brought up by the ICE invading these, I know it's a strong word, invading these communities, I think it's a redundant policy. I mean, it's a redundant policy, and it's unnecessary. I'd like to see us upholding the Constitution, and if we're already cooperating with state and federal forces, I don't know why this is necessary for the books.
Right.
I'm David Brown. I'm from the suburbs over in Elwood Butte.
Isaac Montalano.
For everyone, but it's really for the, so I can. I'm not sure where we can put some of our gold is. Have we done? Well.
Isaac Montiano, State of New Mexico. The City of Truth needs ZIA solutions because New Yorker James Prendamano. Why would James Prendamano, a New York executive who's overseen more than $1 billion in transactional real estate and spent decades shaping large-scale urban redevelopment projects, turn his attention from the big city to Sierra County with a population of about 11,000 humans and a county seat whose police department costs $470,000 to annually operate? We wanted to shift out of the northeast in a big way, and we wanted to go somewhere where we could see ourselves retiring in. This community needed a heartbeat, Prendamano said. It needed a place to assemble and socialize and start instilling a sense of pride back in. In Pre-Real's view, that place is Turtleback Mountain Golf and Resort, formerly Sierra del Rio. Once a neglected golf course, the property is now the crown jewel of Pre-Real's New Mexico venture. Recreation wasn't the only draw for Pre-Real. Prendamano and his company were also betting big on industrial pollution factors. After 15 years of permitting, Copper Flat Mine near Hillsborough is nearing operational status, with officials expecting it to open in 2 to 3 years, according to reporting by the Sierra County Sentinel. Pre-Real saw the mine as important, with quantum computing and artificial intelligence on the rise amid a global shift to green energy. Copper is heavily used in renewable energy infrastructure, which will be tested as AI technology increases strain on data centers and the energy grid. Activity at Spaceport America also played a role. Virgin Galactic, Spaceport America's largest tenant, paused commercial flights out of the launch facility for more than a year ago to work on its new Delta-class rocket ships, which will be able to fly 8 times a month instead of. The space flight company expects to resume flights in October 2026. But Pre-Real's investment in Sierra County isn't just for visitors. Prendamano said working with the community to create developments they wanted to see was key as well. We were not interested in coming in and saying, here's what we want to do. It was, are you interested? Prendamano said of his early conversations with local officials. Pre-Real first purchased houses that needed rehabbing, dilapidated motels, and some of the worst eyesores you can imagine. To show the community it was serious, Prendamano said. This rehabbing process, called rural gentrification, may spur investment in new businesses, yet it egregiously destroys and nefariously alters local communities by straining resources, eroding cultural identity, and hampering hometown spirit with the displacement of long-term residents through the rising costs. $800 a month for a studio apartment? Okay. Beyond Turtleback, Pre-Real has also purchased a renovated Lakeway shopping center, which is almost fully occupied, pending negotiations with a potential tenant for the 30,000 square foot anchor space. Solving for the brain drain, providing hope, rising tide, lifting all of the ships, seeing the community come together and seeing the growth potential realized. It's just fun stuff. And that's what it's all about for us at this point, Prendamano said. Do we, the people of truth, agree?
Thank you, sir. Will? Is it true?
True, yes.
Thank you, sir.
Hi, I'm Will True. I live in Caballo. I'd like to echo a lot of the sentiments of the city here. Although I feel the idea that this is vague is frankly incorrect. It's not vague. We do not exist in a vacuum. These actions take place as the result of things that we've all seen on television, media, etc. None of this is happening as just a random ball thrown into the wilderness. The Fourth Amendment came to be because of writs of assistance, which is what this is. This is not a new document. Nobody came up with this. This isn't clever or interesting. This is something that existed hundreds of years ago. We already did this. To facilitate discussions about this at this level is embarrassing at best. And at the civic body, there's no value to this. None. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. That exhausts the list that I have, but as I started, I did make the statement that if anyone didn't get a chance to sign up, they would still get an opportunity to speak, even if they didn't sign up. So is there anyone left in the audience that would like to speak? Yes, sir. No problem, Steve. How are you?
Fine.
Hey, Council Commissioners, Manager Whitehead. My name is Steve Green. I've been a resident of GOC for 25 years. I've served on the commission for 12 years as a commissioner, mayor pro tem, and a mayor. I believe this is the last meeting the way the commission exists today. What's your legacy going to be? Do you want to look your neighbors in the eye? People here, I have not heard one person speak against, or excuse me, for this resolution. That should tell you something. People feel so strongly, the people that you represent and serve, to give up of their time to express their feelings. I didn't count the number of speakers, but I bet there's twice, thrice, and 4 to 5 times as many people who would come and speak. So you have some choices as Mayor Montgomery, Mayor Mulcahy, Mayor Whitehead, Mayor Green. We listened to the public. That is our job. That is your job. Dump this resolution. If somehow in your hearts you cannot vote no, then postpone it, have a public hearing, a town hall meeting where more of your citizens that you represent will have an opportunity to speak. But I don't have a crystal ball, but I bet you're gonna have 50, 60, 70 people speaking against this resolution. It does not serve any purpose at all. What is your legacy gonna be? Thank you.
Thank you.
Kathleen Sloan, Williamsburg. I'm afraid if you vote yes or no on this resolution, it will make the position clear. And if you vote no, the Trump administration is withholding federal funding to non-cooperative communities. So I would recommend that you somehow make the resolution disappear by just forever.
All right. Anyone else in the audience that would like to speak? Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Cameron Rhodes, TRC, New Mexico. I agree with everyone who's already spoken. They covered several things that I was going to say, but I just wanted to come up here and also show my support. A lot of people would probably assume that a 14-year-old girl isn't going to care, let alone be educated about what's going on in our country and in our town, but I am, and I'm very invested in it, and I just wanted to come up and say, please vote no on this. And I am totally okay with police. I respect and feel safe with our law enforcement. That's why I feel like I can walk around downtown alone with my friends. But this is different. Like my mom said, we know someone who has been affected by ICE, and I would like you guys to please vote no on this resolution.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Sorry.
All right. Let's see. My name is Mark Von Fange. I've been a resident of TRC since 2017, and I'd like to commend this young lady. I was also once a 14-year-old who took a class where we had a mock constitutional convention and got the political bug from there out, and it never ended. I've been a student of the U.S. Constitution ever since. I've done lots of things, student congress in university, things like that. I've always been politically motivated and involved and educated. So keep it up, keep that passion going. Thank you. But the main issue I think here is really the rule of law, and what we're seeing here in our country right now is kind of questionable violations of that. We're seeing the Fifth Amendment where all persons in this country on our soil should receive due process. We've seen that basically ignored a lot of times. And what we're unfortunately seeing with a lot of these officers is they're having a hard time recruiting enough officers, ICE officers, to do it. They're throwing out $50,000 bonuses. So what we're ending up with is untrained people who basically just sign on for the bonus, and they really have no constitutional understanding or of basically how LA law enforcement is supposed to actually operate, treat citizens. We see them, I've seen videos of them ramming into people's cars and then dragging a legal assistant that was a U.S. citizen out of the vehicle with no probable cause. So, I just want to echo everybody's sentiments. If it's not broke, don't fix it. If we're already cooperating with these forces, we should just continue doing it. I think tabling it probably is the least divisive step forward. Because I don't think we want to give the appearance that we aren't, following law as a community, because we are. But this kind of, I don't know, this just seems unnecessary and redundant. And if it's not broke, don't fix it, like somebody else here said. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. More comments? Nobody's hand is up. All right, good. All right. Well, thank you. That concludes our public comment time that we have this morning. In closing, I'll just say a couple of things. I learned a couple of things today. One is that our police department has our support. They did a good job. They do a good job. So thank you, Chief. What you do. The other thing I learned is that we have a very passionate citizenry in our community. That's what makes our community what it is. Thank you for coming out, sharing your opinions, and standing up for what you believe in. And when we get down to that agenda item, we'll do the best that we can to make the right outcome come out. I can't speak for the commission, but it's coming up on our agenda down the page a little bit, and we'll take care of it. So with that, I want to thank you all for being here. I wish we could get this crowd here every time. We have a lot of good things going on with the community, a lot of things are happening. But this was an important thing too, and I'm glad that you folks were here. We heard from people today from 14 to 90 and everything in between. And it's gratifying to know that you care so much for your community. So thanks again. All right, we're going to move on. Move on to reports.
Okay, I'm up.
City Manager Whitehead, you're up there.
Good morning again, everyone. Mayor Pro Tem, members of the public.
Oh, just 1 second. Sure. Folks, if you leave, we'll give you just a second to do so before we'll proceed, and that's why you won't interrupt you. Although these are important things.
Tasty.
It's yeah, I'm least in that.
You don't want to look at me? I'm not really, buddy. Yeah, I want.
All right, Manager Whitehead, I guess we can go ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, please. It was a nice crowd. Good comments today. Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem, members of the commission.
Dun.
I'm going to keep my comments short. A little
The mic kit just says stop talking. That's it. But it's done. Can't accept anything.
We'll try there. Again, keep my report short. First thing, Mayor, to our 2 newly elected officials, and I think our office has already made contact. There's a newly elected officials training provided by the Municipal League that'll be taking place January 13th and 14th. 13th and 14th. Newly elected officials will have 2 days of training provided by the New Mexico Municipal League and our self-insurance fund. Other commissioners are welcome to attend. If you feel like you'd like to go do a retrain, just let us, please get with Joe in the office so that we can make arrangements for you to travel. So that'll be coming up for the new officials, and we'll get Chaz signed up for that soon, okay? I want to comment, last Friday, we held a staff training. I want to thank, again, the commission for providing the meal. So we kept the employees through lunch and we provided them a nice meal, and we did some ethics training and some team building and those kind of things. I think, Mayor, it's all right. My glowing personality. I think those things are important. It was really great. We had over 80 of our staff, our employees in the room, And I think the training was well received. We also recognized the employees that have been completed a year's worth of service. I think we had 17. We acknowledge those that have been with us for 5 years. I think there were 9, and then over 17 again that have served the city 10 plus years. So it was really nice, and we provided them a nice little coin to signify their service to the city. So hopefully we'll continue to do those kind of programs to keep our employees unified. Update again on water leaks. I have to keep talking about it. We're still behind. We're down to around 30 water leaks right now. We've identified several of those leaks that are what we would call really minor on water meters and those kind of things. And so I've worked with the contractor. I have a contractor here today that's going to look at providing maybe 15 of those leaks and then come up with a better program where we can deal with what we would call, things that are connected to the water meters themselves, and then let our crews be able to deal with the main leaks in the road. So hopefully by the end of the year, we'll get organized. We just keep continuing to strategize on ways to get efficient. But again, we have one crew, and they can work somewhere between 2 to 4 leaks a day, depending on the size. And then, they just pop up. And so we're trying to deal with that. But, I just want to continue to let you know that it's a focus. We understand that we're behind, and we'll continue to find ways to work through that. Today on your agenda, you've got a couple of items that you're going to vote for procurement above 60. They are items that will be coming from our general obligation bond. So we're beginning to organize that work. But we had 2 other items. One is an $8,000 investment into our SCADA. So those that don't remember, our SCADA system is how we communicate via the computer for our water and our wastewater system. Currently, we have 2 wells only that are not on the SCADA system. And so we're going to use the bond money to invest $8,000 and $43,000 to get those so that our system-wide will completely be on SCADA. We've talked about these for a while, but we're now ready to start executing the work orders. And then the other 3 items we'll go over when we get to the 60. But Assistant City Manager Alvarez and I talked this morning, and we're going to kind of come up with a better process where we're putting these, even if they're less than 60, less than 20, because they go through a little different process. They're kind of a reimbursement, the way the funding comes in our bond dollars. So we'll make sure that we get these on, and you as commissioners have an opportunity to see that, because we really want to be transparent on how we're spending the bond dollars for the community. And the last thing then, I'd like to recognize Jocelyn, our Chief Financial Officer. She and her staff have been working diligently to get the audits. You guys might be aware that the audits are generally due December 15th. So we have a change in that, and I'll let Jocelyn kind of brief you on all the work that her and her staff have been doing to get us complete on the audit process.
Good morning, Mayor. Traditionally, the audits are due by December 15th, but the state auditor offered an extension for communities such as municipalities that have the dual audit. For the single audit, it's the federal funding and regular audit. So our auditors opted for the extension date. The 2 audits turned in on January 20th. We're pretty much almost right there. We just they're asking for additional testing items and then 2 items that are left on the original list. And we're hoping to have a draft to review. And I asked them if they had any potential items that they considered a possible audit finding, to reach out to me, and I would need corrective action before it was considered an audit finding to prevent it in the beginning stages versus after. So basically, that's where we're at with our audit, and because of all our federal USDA funds, we have a single audit. So we're in the extension. If I stand for any questions.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
And I would just conclude, Mayor, just to remind the staff. So this is the first year of our new audit. So anytime, right? So you go through an audit for 8 years, you get pretty comfortable, right? You know what they're going to ask for, you know how to prepare it. And then you get a new audit group and they're asking for some different things. And so we've had some challenges finding those. Both Assistant Manager Alvarez and I will be locking ourselves in Thursday to complete some work that that Jocelyn has asked us to support her on some items within the audit. So there's some challenges that come with a new audit firm, and we'll get that worked out. Our goal is to have it timely, and then the goal Jocelyn and I have said is to have an audit with 0 findings. So, we know we're going to have some issues this year that we carried forward, but we're trending always to do that. I think that's why it's important that she's asking for any concerns they have now, so we can deal with them straight away. And with that, I would also at this point like to recognize Chief. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I would just like to thank the staff, because as Gary mentioned, it is a different process and they're not familiar with having to provide information, and everybody has been really helpful and provided information very quickly. So I'm grateful for having a team like that care about its citizens and our reporting.
Thank you. Mayor, I would finally just recognize Chief Tabazone. If he would like to come up and give his police report.
Yes.
I'll let that happen, and then one last comment, and then I'll be done.
Morning, Chief.
Good morning.
Mayor Pro Tem, Commissioners, good morning. We've been busy, as you are aware. We've had quite a bit of events in the community. Old fashioned Christmas, we had parades. So just working with the community and ensuring that those are getting done. Preparing for the end of the year, making sure that all the mandatory training that the state requires for our officers are met. There's monies that are given to the agencies that are contingent upon us completing those mandates. And we're diligently working to make sure that we ensure we get those fundings that help run the department. With that, I'll stand for any question that you may have.
Any questions? Any comments?
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
And then finally, Mayor, I would just comment that this will be the last meeting that you won't have department head meetings present. So starting again back in January, we'll be bringing the department heads back like we did, where you'll have 5 reports from each of them, and we'll start that process as we just abbreviated, that for the Christmas break that we were having. So but we'll be back to full reporting at the beginning of next year.
Right.
And with that, I'll stand for any questions.
If we have any questions, thank you for your report. All right, let's move on to Commissioner reports. Mr. Hubner, we'll start with you this time.
This time, is that the second time I have to start? Oh, thank you. We are in the middle of the holiday seasons. I would like here to say thank you for everybody who came out and supports our small business in our community. Especially I want to also say thank you for all the volunteers. South events, old fashioned Christmas, sing along in the future. It's the Turtle Ascension. Everything is based on volunteers and passionate people who are wanting to make something special for the holidays. For me personally, it is a hard time, and I'm grateful that this community is coming together, that we are working together and supporting each other. And I'm happy that I can, since I'm here, create new memories in my life, what is not negative from those days. And I'm just thankful this season. And here I'm very big on building community. And certain things come up, certain things here trying to divide us. But I believe what I see, that every time our community comes together and is standing up for what is right. I'm really hoping that here we are working on everything, and we are, as commission, we are here to represent you. I'm grateful that you all here put me
in this position to represent you, and I will do my due diligence, and I also uphold the Constitution and here the Constitution of New Mexico, like we heard in the swearing in. It is multiple elements. Certain things are necessary and some things are not necessary. And it's just divisive. And I really hope that those wounds and those divisiveness we can heal and start come back together, while we are one community. This community, we saw it on old-fashioned Christmas, can come together and can live together and enjoy the holidays together. And community building is important. There's many things what is happening in the near future, a lot of construction, everything, and I please understand here that it has time delays included when you're going to work and adjust accordingly to it. But it is all to make our community better and more inviting for everyone. And not a certain group here, like some people think here that is the future of a certain group of people, but no, it is for everybody. This community is here for everybody. And I'm very proud and I'm very glad that I'm part of this community. And I would like also to say thank you to the chief. He's doing a great job and dealing with problems, dealing with what is happening in this town. Because here it is, I hear it, I hear and I listen to the community and I hear positive things. And we are here to support him and everything he does. And that is here how I stand, while it is here we are one. And thank you, and I wish you for the last months, everybody, happy holidays. Enjoy time with family, while we never know how long they are part of our lives, and how much we can. And so much is happening in this world, and please spend it here with your loved ones and here enjoy the time. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Commissioner Mickey.
I have 3 things I wanted to say. First of all, supporting our community. We had such a great turnout for Old Fashioned Christmas, Luminaria Walk and stuff. Kudos Main Street for putting that on. And a reminder for 2 events happening this Friday. The one is First Families Christmas at the Cerro del Rio Golf Course. They are bringing a semi-truck full of food, clothes, toys, household goods. They're offering to feed everyone who shows up there a meal. It's a great way for them to give back to the community. And then this same evening is the holiday sale event and fun times ahead. This I wanted to point out was for Miss Cameron, who came up and stood up in front of that podium and talked to us in a very eloquent and loquacious way. Because the first time I ever do a commission meeting, I was 14 years old, and I stood up there and I complained to the city about our swimming pool and our swim team and how we needed to do that. And I went later. But you know, it's just that opportunity, and you took it, and I'm very proud of you for that. So I wanted to commend you. And thirdly, I wanted to thank Mary Jo for her service to this commission for the past 4 years. It has been amazing serving alongside her again. I know that we're going to give her dedication in January, but I just wanted to say that I appreciate her for her dam advocacy throughout the past 4 years. And it's thanks to her I know so much about dams, going to the Dam Olympic Conference. But that's, that was her passion. I want to thank her for her attention to details, especially with the budget. Her extensive work on our trails and watershed district, and her continued support of law enforcement. It's always been come through true to her. So I wanted to thank Mary Jo for her service, and I'm going to miss serving with her, but I'm glad I had that opportunity. That's all I have. Oh, and thank you guys for reelecting me to commission. And there's cake, there's cake.
Mayor Pro Tem, you're up.
Okay, and for those of you that didn't attend the Christmas program last night at the Civic Center for the elementary school, you missed a show. A packed show. I'm pretty sure the chief of the fire chief should have came and shut it down because there was a lot of people. It was standing room only. It was really cool. They didn't expect people because it was the first time that they had brought that back in the elementary to really, really cool. Our community showed up and showed out. It was amazing to see that many people out there. Secondly, we heard some comments this morning about pre-real, and I am going to talk about, kind of get on the same bandwagon that Destiny just talked about, sorry, Commissioner Mitchell, that there is the Sierra Community First Foundation is putting on a holiday giveaway Friday from 12 to 2 at the golf course. Family activities, Santa, face painting, holiday movies. They're going to feed anybody that shows up. They are looking for volunteers to help hand out toys and whatnot, clothes, household essentials. They are bringing a semi-load of goods to give out to our community. They are also giving out 10 grand in cash to needy families. So I have a really hard time with the bashing of pre-real. This is the foundation is funded by pre-real. They also do a lot of good in our community. So I just wanted to set that, and I hope we don't jump on the bandwagon of calling TRC or Truth or Consequences truth. And thirdly, shop with a cop. How many kids were there?
Over 140.
Yeah. So again, just really good things that our police department is doing. So we appreciate that. Merry Christmas, happy holidays. See you in January.
Sure, you're done. That's all right. Sum up. I was 14 once in another century.
Just one?
That's not too, it's just one. All right. Yeah, I have 4 or 5 little items. December 6th, I chair the Regional Transportation Organization. We met in Williamsburg to evaluate several transportation projects having to do with enhancements of bus routes and the acquisition of additional vehicles to increase ridership. Incidentally, ridership is up tremendously on all these routes. It's finally catching on. We're using the facilities, and it's great to see. TRC didn't have a specific project, but we supported Socorro and Doña Ana to enhance their abilities, which would also benefit us. So that was kind of a good meeting. On 12/12, Friday night, last night, Old Fashioned Christmas, tremendous event. If you went to the Renfro Park, lighting has been great. It's a great community event. I think we had like 400 people there. Main Street, as always, has done a wonderful job. Thank you guys for that. I wanted to specifically thank OJ and Cesar, John and Philip Parks, as well as Bo with the electric department, Andy with sanitation, Buster with streets, to make this event a tremendous success. It's all hands on deck event. The city did a wonderful job again putting this on, and I really appreciate their support in doing this. Mary Jo's not here, but she kind of said her farewells during that event. She brought her grandson up, and he got to count down from 10 to 1 until like the lights of her in that respect.
Your dad too.
Leading the parade.
Oh, sorry. I jumped the gun. Sorry.
All right. Next presentation. I just want to say one more thing about Commissioner Fall. She called me this morning, and she was distressed because she couldn't be here. And I understand her husband. They had postponed his surgery 3 times last night. He didn't get into surgery until 8:30 last night. and had his gallbladder removed. This is the fourth or fifth major internment that he's had in a hospital over the last year. It was complicated. He's lost over 100 pounds at one point in time, and then he took a downfall. And it's really been difficult for Mary Jo to adhere to her requirements of the commission and then take care of it at the same time. And this morning was no exception. And she apologized. She wanted to be here. She wanted to represent herself for the law enforcement part of it and explain why she wanted this particular resolution presented. And I know she had no nefarious reasons. I know she wanted to support law enforcement. We all understand what's going on with the community, and we'll act accordingly when we get our opportunity, but I wanted to recognize her for that. We will have her back sometime in January to give her award that we and her certificate for having served, and we certainly appreciate her service. And the last thing I get to do is I want to give some recognition this morning to a couple of ladies with Main Street. That's Linda DeMoreno and Becca Iza. Main Street, Gary and I attended the Main Street national or statewide program in Alamogordo here in October. And it wasn't until now that we could all get together in one place, so I waited till now to do this. But they were recognized for their accomplishments during the 40th anniversary of Main Street. Linda for making a significant impact on the Main Street district, and Becca for Here's Your Sign project with Main Street. So it's nice to get statewide recognition. All the great people were there, the powers to be with Main Street. Main Street has really gone through a transition for me over the past 2 or 3 years. And it was challenging when I first came on, and we had some concerns, but but whether my concerns were warranted or not, you guys listened and you changed the organization to the betterment of our community, and you serve us well. And I'm so proud to have you on board now as a group. You guys are doing a great job. Congratulations on your Levitt grant and all the things that you do for our community. Getting ready to start a project on Poach Street, which has been coming for the last 6 or 7 years. But you guys are firing on all cylinders and doing a wonderful job. So with that, I have your awards I'd like to present to you in front of the dais here, and maybe get a little photo op, Steve, and thank you publicly for all the efforts that you've done. You both at the same time. Get them turn around.
I think we'll just stand.
Yeah, you guys can either stand or come back here, whatever you guys like to do. And let's do this. Let's let you each hold your own.
Guess you might have to get on the chair.
And so these are the awards that they received at the state convention that we had. And again, like I said, we're very proud of their service and what they do for our community. Thank you.
I to say that I am looking forward to working with everybody next year, and I have no further report. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for keeping it short.
I have 2 things I missed on page 2, if I could just real quickly. First of all, I also want to add the facilities to your list. I know you had Dave and his group.
Sorry.
They kind of take care of all the storage of everything, and then they kind of get it out and organize it. So thank you for them, for the whole crew.
Thank you.
2 projects happening in your downtown. You're seeing from our efforts, all the manholes on Date Street are being replaced. So that project is set to be done by the end of this week, we hope. So that was a warranty issue, and our streets department have been on the DOT to get that done. And then also, you may or may not have noticed, but the speed limit signs have been changed throughout town, and that was an early request by the mayor and I that we set the speed limits correctly. So we have a 25 through the roundabouts. It changes to 35 to town, it gets to downtown. It's 25 through downtown. It changes to 35 up the hill, and then 40 throughout. So all the speed limit signs have been replaced. and should be consistent with how the speed should flow through town. So we're excited about that, and hopefully that'll help our police department then kind of solidify how they can post that. And I see them out working in the roundabout, so we appreciate that. That was it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
We're gonna take care of one more item. So let's move on to item G, which consists of item 1, City Commission regular minutes for November 19th, 2025. City Commission regular minutes for December 3rd, 2025. November 2025 accounts payable, take-home vehicle forms from the police department, and purchase reports of items between 20 and 60,000. Do we have any discussion on any of these items? We need to make any presentation. We're good with your reports. Okay. Having no discussion, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent calendar as presented.
Thank you. Second. A motion, a second. Doris?
Honorable Destiny Mitchell.
Aye.
Honorable Ingo Hopner.
Aye.
Honorable Amanda Parksburg. Honorable Ralph Epler.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. All right, we're now going to take about a 10-minute break and reconvene at 10:50. Thank you, folks.